Hey guys, what's up? Thanks so much for stopping by. In today's video, I thought I would try out a few new products that I recently received, as well as a foundation that I quickly fell in love with. Let's go ahead and kick it off with the foundation because this is a product that I'm really excited about. It's their newest Soft Matte Complete Foundation. Now, don't be fooled. Typically, I kind of stay away from anything that is matte when it comes to complexion products just because I'm more of a dewy, glowy, radiant, hydrating type of formula lover, but I still wanted to give this a shot. I actually do not like the soft matte concealer at all, but I was still really curious about this foundation because when I poured it out, it was very, very thin and runny, and that's typically the viscosity that I like when it comes to foundations. So I still wanted to give it a try because if you've been with me for a while, then you know the Nars Sheer Glow Foundation as well as their Natural Radiant Foundation. Those are two of my all-time favorite foundations of life. So the very first time that I used it, obviously I always go in with moisturizer and primer, but typically I'll apply my moisturizer, first thing after I get up and wash my face and brush my teeth. And then once it's time to apply my makeup, my skin for the most part is normally still set to go just with, SPF and primer. But whenever I did that method, I noticed that it was just clinging, sinking into my pores weird. It just felt really dry on my skin and I was like, nope, this is not gonna work. But the next day, no, we're not gonna give up yet. So I decided to give it one more shot, just using still the same products that I typically use, but kind of right before applying my makeup and kind of going in with even thicker and heavier layers of these products. So if you happen to have this foundation and you tried it out and you're like, oh, it's not for me, still give it one more shot. Just try this method. It doesn't have to be these exact same products. As long as you have products that are pretty similar, I think it'll still get the job done. It's claimed to be mask proof, and I have to say that it does a really good job. Even whenever going in with my mask and taking it off, typically I notice a ton of transfer on my mask. With this foundation, I haven't noticed any of that. And if you have normal to dry skin, you don't have to go in with a powder. However, if you are oily, you probably do want to set it, but for you normal to dry skin people, there's no need to set and it just stays in place beautifully. So, wow, that was basically an entire review of the foundation, but I still want to demo it for you and show you guys how it wears, as well as a few other products that I just wanted to test out on camera. So now that I basically gave you an entire TED Talk, let's go ahead and get into the routine. Typically, I kind of just skip this and just show you primer, but for this foundation to work on my skin type, which is more normal to dry, I definitely have to go in with a lot of hydration. Otherwise, I notice it just kind of settles into my pores really weird, where yes, I have coverage, but anywhere where there's enlarged pores, it just sinks right in and just emphasizes any sort of dryness. Surprisingly, I don't go in with any sort of blurring primer, like really heavy silicone-based primer to blur out those pores, but just really hydrating the skin. Right now, I'm just going in with some of the Summer Fridays Vitamin C, well, they call it the CC Me Serum. I have been loving this vitamin C. Vitamin C is something that I do like to use every single day. I kind of go between several different brands, but this is the one that I've been staying pretty faithful to for the last month and a half. I love that it's in a solid case, just because with vitamin C, you always want to store it where it's not getting direct sunlight because it can get funky really quick. So I do appreciate that it isn't in a translucent bottle. From there, I move on to moisturizer. This is my second tub of this stuff. It's the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. If you have yet to try this, I know Tatcha is on the pricier side, but this is a product that I truly love. I do prefer this way more than the water cream, what is that one called? The one that comes in the turquoise package. This one is just so nice on the skin. While it is more of a true lotion cream rather than a gel cream, something about it is still lighter feeling on the face. I do reserve this for my day cream though. I am going in with quite a bit on my cheeks just because that area has been getting a wee bit dry lately. I already actually did go in and moisturize my neck and my face earlier this morning, but it's been a while. We had school, so we'll just go back in with a new layer. All right, so now that it's been 2 to 5 minutes, my skin just feels nice and plump and hydrated. I'm gonna go in with my SPF. This is from the brand Frudia. If you hate heavy, greasy sunscreens, but obviously you're still supposed to be wearing your sunscreen, try out either a Korean beauty or a Japanese beauty sunscreen. They just make sunscreen amazing, especially for your face. They tend to have more milky or gel-like consistencies, or just formulas that aren't quite as heavy and greasy on the skin, but add just this extra illuminating boost. I love them so much. So I'm just going in with this Frudia one. I got a nice little dollop right here. And definitely do not forget your hands. I'm sure just like me, a lot of y'all's hands are so dry right now just with the extra hand sanitizer that we've been doing. Now, just like with the Tatcha Dewy cream, I allowed some time for the SPF to really soak in. So now let's talk about primers. So I have an entire drawer full of primers. Primers is something that I just absolutely love. I know some people can completely skip that step. Not me. If you're wanting something that adds a little bit of hydration, but more than anything gives your skin additional glow, the BECCA Backlight Primer is so nice. Is it First Light? I always forget the name of that one. It's the lavender primer. Both of these are actually on sale today for the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. I just love this one because it has this very subtle, kind of like candlelight glow, golden sheen. It's not overboard to where I like to apply it just all over the face. I like to go in with the Fourth Ray Beauty Mellow Milk Mist. Obviously, you could go in with any sort of hydrating mist. If you have the Catrice Prime and Fine, that would be a great option. But I do really like this one just because it is a little bit more on the milky side. I'm finally gonna go into the Nars foundation. I have mine in the shade Punjab, so it is a very liquidy consistency, as you can see. I'm just gonna go in and I like to just pat it on with my fingers first. And with this, I do like to work into sections. I kept thinking I had a glob of primer right there. Nope, that was just a zit. Great, lucky me. So I have tried it with a brush, but my preferred application is with a sponge. This is just the Sonia Kashuk sponge. You can get these for $7 in a 2-pack at Target. They are so, so good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up on this side, and that was plenty of foundation for my entire face. As you can see, I did go ahead and pop on some eyebrows as well as bronzer. I'm just using the Nudestix in Bondi Bae. Cream products go on top of this foundation great. I don't have any issues of it like tugging and pulling weird. Now moving on to blush and highlighters. I received these from Pixi Beauty. They are called the Nuance Quartettes. So we have Honey Nectar and then Sugar Blossom. Let's go ahead and see what this shade right here, Ambrosia, looks like. So I'm just using the Smashbox powder brush. Ooh, this is really pretty though. I'm just going in with a very light hand and just lightly building it up. Yeah, that was like the perfect color. All right, and then just taking a mixture of both highlighters. Just do little glazing. Those are pretty. I do think I like the mixture more than on its own. Whenever I swatched it by itself, it was just, I don't know, it looked a little too golden, but mixed, that seems like the perfect color. Okay, so that's it for cheeks. Now moving on to eyeshadows. This is one that I'm so excited about. This is the Tiny Marbles palette by Sydney Grace. This is a collab with Mel Thompson, who I just absolutely adore. I've actually never tried Sydney Grace eyeshadows before. I know she's known for her singles. I don't know if she makes other palettes even. I mean, I'm guessing so, but I always see her singles advertised on Instagram and people are always raving about them. So I'm really excited to get into this. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the shade Walk-In Stick, and let's just pull that right through the crease. Originally, I thought I wanted Death Moth, but now that I'm looking at this, I think I'm gonna go into the shade Spider. Looks like a blackened plum, and let's just pop a little bit. Wow, these are so, so pigmented, but there's not really any fallout. I typically always do my eyes first too, but I was kind of between this palette and then another one that I received from Nomad Cosmetics, but I've been dying to try this one. Holy cow, that was like the tiniest tap on the brush and there's still so much product on here. I'm really eager to get into, oh my God, these metallics. Look at that. I don't even know which, this one is so beautiful. I have to, oh, but I don't know, I really like Fire Butts. Okay, I'm just gonna go in. This is no primer on my eyelid or anything, and we are just going to swipe, wow, some of that right onto the lid. Okay, I've used a ton of duochrome shadows, but this one is just so silky. It's just gliding right on. That's so beautiful. I do still want to take a little bit of Fire Butt, so maybe we'll just take a touch of that and just kind of pop that right onto the center of the lid. These are so incredibly foiled. Wow. I have to say, I mean, I knew this was going to be good just because Mel is such an eyeshadow queen that I knew she wouldn't put out something that was subpar, but wow, this really did blow me away and I didn't even get a chance to use all the shades yet. Obviously the mattes from the demo, you could see they were incredibly pigmented, but the metallics are just out of this world. I can't wait to play with some of the other ones, especially Meadowhawk. It was hard for me not to go in with the more like warmer tone shades because I love anything coral and peachy, but yeah, the metallics in here are just something else. It just gives that whole like oil spill type of vibe. I thought that was so, so pretty. The blush palettes I will have to play with a little bit more. So far, it's just more of a personal preference thing because I don't really care for blush tones like this. The other products in here are really pretty though. I was actually pretty surprised with the, I don't even know if they're marketing it as a bronzer or more of just like a deeper toned blush. Those were really pretty and the highlighters mix were nice, but I will be using these more throughout the week and I'll definitely keep you updated. As for the foundation, this was something I already knew that I loved, but I just wanted to get on and show you guys, even if you have more like dry to normal skin, good way to get this foundation to work for you because the actual formula is so, so nice. The way that it sets is beautiful. The way that it blurs the pores, the longevity, it's just a really good foundation. I am a Nars junkie though. There's very few products from Nars that I dislike. I mean, minus the concealer, the same concealer that's sold with this foundation, or not sold with, but the same name, the Soft Matte Concealer. I know some people love that stuff. I've never been a fan of it. Even the Radiant Creamy Concealer, which I feel like that has a cult following. That's another Nars product I've never been crazy about, but their blushes, lip products, most of their complexion products I do tend to love. So if there's a way for you to even just pick up a sample of this, I would highly recommend trying it out. That's all that I have for you today. As always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you haven't already, you can always follow me over on Instagram, subscribe here on my channel. That way we can hang out some more in the future. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye.